Hey Ray, so today I wanted to talk to you guys. I had some things that I wanted to say and to talk about, and you guys really liked the last time that I was in the car and talking to you, which I'm glad that you guys liked it so much because it's very convenient for me, seeing as though this is where I am most of my time, or I used to be, which kind of segues me into what I wanted to talk about the most today. There are a few different things, but last week I did not post a video. For those of you who might be new to my channel or my videos or just not know, I live in Ohio, in the United States. So we were one of the last states affected by the coronavirus. Just recently things have started being impacted around here, and last week was kind of like a wait and see how things were going. We had just got our first few cases, and it's something that Mark and I have paid attention to for a couple months now, even well before I came to the United States. It's something that we've been trying to be aware of and to pay attention to, and I just didn't feel it right to make a video last week. I have videos I could edit and upload, but I was preoccupied with that and just seeing what it meant for my family and my life, and what it was probably going to do for a lot of other people too. And that's the reason why I wanted to talk today, because I just feel like without talking about it, all my other videos don't make sense. I could have easily put up a video, and I'm sure most of you wouldn't have cared, wouldn't have noticed, wouldn't have expected any different. But for me, it feels really weird for where things are, where things were even a week ago, to just pop up on YouTube and be like, hey everybody, so today I'm going to show you what's going to be in my kids' Easter baskets. Like, to me, it's just like, what? What? I just don't want to come off as obtuse, or that it's not a big deal, or that the rest of my life, as I'm sure many of yours, has not been affected by it. So for me, I wanted to talk about it because I just didn't feel right not talking about it, not giving some kind of preface to all my other videos. I just didn't have the time to do that last week, and for that reason I just didn't post a video. So as I'm recording this, our schools have been closed. Gatherings of 10 or more people are not allowed. Gyms, bars, restaurants, I think there was a couple other things that were also shut down. It's highly discouraged to be out unless it is medically necessary, or if you're getting groceries, or just, you know, necessary in general. And we were also supposed to be voting in our primary election today. It was for our presidential election that is up this year. We were supposed to be picking party candidates to run for president in Ohio today, but that will also, it's very unclear about that situation. That's a whole other can of worms. But basically, a lot of our day-to-day stuff has changed in Ohio, as I'm sure most other states have. There's a lot of people who are in similar situations or are practicing stuff like this, even if their state isn't mandating it. And it's been a little bit of a change. The girls are home from school, at least for the next few weeks, but our governor has made it pretty clear that he's not ruling out that they'll just be done for the year. So that's also an option. I had a pretty good idea and a rhythm of what I could accomplish while they were at school, while I had Lexi at home with me, and what that meant. And I am not used to having all of our kids home with me 24/7, you know. We did that for like a week or two when Lexi was born, but since she's been born, they've been in preschool for the most part, aside from like breaks and stuff for like Christmas, but they were never this long. So what I can accomplish work-wise needs to be reevaluated, and I need to get on a different schedule. I was doing things based off of how often Mark was working, the girls going to school, stuff like that. So it all needs to be reevaluated so I can start being efficient as possible. And we are doing our best to stay at home. I only leave for doctor's appointments and grocery shopping, And with that being said, if you have someone who's over 50 plus in your life, or someone who is in the other high risk categories for whatever reason, please reach out. And if you are a healthy adult yourself, see if you can get them anything that they might need from the store, Amazon, whatever you're doing for, you know, groceries and everything else that we need from day to day. So I am doing that stuff, but other than that, we are at home and we are trying to make the best of it. I wish Ohio weather was a little bit more cooperative right now, because I think pretty soon we are going to have to start going outside, but every time we plan on it, it snows, or it's got frost in the morning or something like that. So we're trying to do our best and trying to do what we can. You know, in my family, we kind of reside in that 94-98% of people where, you know, they're mildly affected by this. However, we have several people in our lives, and there's many people who are not in our lives that matter to other people, who are very at risk of this illness doing a lot of harm to their lives. So we're doing what we can. There's a lot of different reasons why there's anxiety and, you know, stress at this time. People's health, money, business, just the basic necessities of life. Everything feels questionable right now, and I'm sad that we all have to be like this. It's not just one place in the world right now. I feel like everywhere is hurting, and we're all trying to do our best. At least most of us are. I'm not coming on here to preach at you to do what you should be doing and, you know, whatever. That's not my job. That's your job as an adult to know what you should and shouldn't be doing right now. I wish I could do more in a sense, but I know by staying home, that is how we can help the most, probably. With the stress that everybody's feeling right now, in whatever way you may be, I think one of the best things is just community. So I'm going to be uploading, and I'm going to offer you guys that content and do what I can, because I know some of us are, you know, at home and maybe a little bored more than usual given the circumstances of everything. So, you know, I'm gonna work on working even harder and hopefully help curb some of that boredom for you, and give myself something to do, which is work. So I just wanted to kind of touch on that, because it just kind of feels like our normal reality has shifted a little bit, and I see that and I feel it. We're living it, just as I know you guys are. But that also kind of leads me in the last thing I was saying about focusing on work led me into something else, and that was struggling with deciding what was worth my time. I feel very divided right now. Not as a mom or even a wife or anything, but just like as a person. I feel like I have a lot of different things on my plate right now, and I've been struggling lately with deciding what's worth my time, what I dedicate to it, what should get focus more than others. Obviously, things like Mark and the girls are no-brainers. I think besides that, the things I was giving my focus honestly weren't worth it. I've just had a lot of frustration lately, and feeling like what I was doing wasn't good enough, and I don't know, just all around struggling with, like, why am I doing this? Why am I putting in all this work towards this thing when no one gives a crap? Why? When I could be working and making content for you guys one way or another, interacting with you guys, and you guys appreciate it. So I just feel like I could be better focusing and putting my energy where it's well received and worth it. You know, like, I'm so worried about all these other little things on my plate right now, because I do want to help people. I'm trying my absolute best to be helpful, and it's not being received well or even acknowledged. And it's like, why am I doing it then? Why am I wasting this energy when I can put it into my channel, which is, you know, not only do you guys like my content, but it's rewarding for me. I like helping you guys. I like talking to you and communicating with you and, you know, having this sense of community and talking things out. And obviously it also helps support my family. So that's what I need to be focusing on. And I feel like every once in a while I just do this. Okay, sorry about that. I had to get Mark his lunch on my way home. But anyways, yeah, I just feel like every few years I need to like refocus myself. And I feel like every once in a while I get distracted and I kind of maybe even underestimate my channel and my work and stuff like that. And so I start branching out and I do other things, and it just does not make me as happy. It is not as rewarding. It's not nearly worth it. So yeah, that's me saying I'm gonna work harder and be more consistent and just focus more on you guys in this channel. So I wanted to talk about that too. So while I stopped for Mark's lunch, I looked at the questions you guys asked on Instagram. I told you guys I'd be making this video and I would answer a few at the very end. And one of them was about the coronavirus and what I think and if we're doing anything. So I already explained that we are home. Mark's job is technically still essential as of right now. So he is still working, but he gets up, he goes to work, and thankfully what he does at his work does not involve a ton of interaction with others. He can at least keep that 6 foot wide space between him and other people pretty easily, so if not all day long, so that's nice. But he comes straight home afterwards. So the girls do not have school, and like I said, I'm not going out unless it's for groceries or for doctor's appointments, and you know, that's basically it. As far as more specifically what we're doing, I had people ask like if I had a stockpile and stuff. I don't. I think stockpiling when something, you know, emergent happens, that can be dangerous. Having a stockpile in general, if that's something you do over time, that's not what I'm talking about. But just like going out and mass buying right when something bad happens, I understand it 100%. I'm a panicky person. I'm a stressed person. That's how I function from day to day. But it's also caused a lot of problems. You know, I went grocery shopping and I was not able to find any disinfectant for my grandparents, which was troublesome. Thankfully, my mom was grocery shopping in a different town and was able to find some for them. We have an open thing of paper towels, but I've not been able to find any anywhere, so I'm looking at unpaper towels and just making the switch. I don't know, like just a lot of things in our daily life have been affected, which they said to prepare for. You know, granted, I think it was not even a few weeks ago they were telling us to expect that, so no shocker, here it is. But as far as the stockpile, we don't. But a couple months ago when we had heard about this virus, and even back then they were talking about the very real possibility that it would be spreading out of China, and we decided to then put together a little kit. It's just something we put together. It's enough food for all of us to eat for 2 weeks if we could absolutely not leave the house. As of right now, it's still, please don't go outside unless it's necessary. But if it was, you know, curfews and lockdowns and prohibited to leave our house, I was like, I want to make sure that we have that food for our family to survive, or things, first aid, stuff like that. So we put together this small little tote. It's sealed tight. It is all boxed, canned, whatever kind of food. Don't come for me. It's not good food. It's food that will survive us for 2 weeks if we were to be inside. I'm glad I did that because some of the stuff that's in that box I can't find anymore. So for that reason, I'm glad that I did it. We did not go haywire or empty shelves or anything like that. Just enough to focus on our family of 4, 5. I mean, I put some stuff in there for Lexi, but honestly, she's not even on solids yet. I am her food. So maybe more snacks for mom to replenish the breast milk stock. But that made me feel a little bit more prepared. It feels to me like everyone's finally operating at the same stress level and semi-anxious level that I am all the time. It's not good, it's not healthy, but as far as my feelings about it, I feel a little bit more chilled out than usual. We're just trying to focus on us and do what we can and stay informed without also overdoing it either. It's very easy to do that, but I think if you can find that balance of staying informed without drowning yourself in the information, you'll feel a lot better about it. The other question was if there was ever a time during our TTC journey where I said, screw it, I'm done. That was November. At that point, I had 3 miscarriages that year, and that's why we took a break. I was gonna have a mental, emotional breakdown, or I had to be done with trying to conceive. And I just figured a break from that would be the best, so neither of those things could happen. And that's when we conceived Lexi. Now, a lot of people were like, oh, you relaxed, that's why you conceived her. Conceiving's not our problem. Keeping pregnancies is our problem. My problem. He's not the one with the uterus. So, yes, definitely pushed to that point. 2018 was the worst year of my life. I've never been in such a worse place in my life, as a person, as a mom, as a wife, everything. I felt like a shell of a person, and I felt like I was continually doing this thing that kept hurting me, and it was super hard to be a mom at that time because I was so sad and I was so angry, and I just had all these difficult emotions, and your kids need you all the same. You know, world keeps turning kind of thing, and it's painful, and I wanted to be honest with them, but not super honest because they are children. And there's some innocence in that I would like to keep. So it was a difficult time, and if you were there, I am sorry, and I really do hope that things get better soon. I know how draining it is. I know how exhausted it is. I just look back, and I'm so thankful that every day that we got out of that place, because I don't know how much longer either one of us could have done it. But yes, there was definitely a time with that, and if you're there, I hope that lifts soon. And then the other question asked how sex was after C-sections, and also with breastfeeding. I tried to think really hard about this, and it's no different. It's no different than where we were before kids, with 1 kid, with 2 kids, with 3 kids. Afterwards, I don't know that the C-sections have anything to do with it. I've never had a vaginal birth, so I really can't compare sexual experiences after one versus the other or anything like that. But fortunately, breastfeeding or not too, because I've also been breastfeeding, weaned, kind of in all those various situations. Never had an issue. Thankfully, that's been something that has always stayed the same throughout our relationship, and that's never something that we've really had to deal with. And I think that's about everything. I just wanted to come on here and talk about it because I know that's where my thoughts are a lot of the day, is how things are, and it can change so quickly, just like the placement of my camera. Joke. Just like with most things in my life, I try to laugh them off to help ease the stress and anxiety in which I am under because of it. Don't take that as a dismissal from me. It's not. It's me working through it and making sure that I don't have a breakdown 3 days into being at home with our kids. I am in the more fortunate position of being home, working from home. I know a lot of people are struggling to find care. How are they going to pay bills? You know, so many different things. If you're a healthcare worker, you're not going to get off work, and now you have to figure out how to find childcare for your kids while you go to work, and you may be one of the people who's more exposed to them. There's grocery store workers that don't have time off who are now super overworked, and everything's a mess right now. And I understand that, and I feel that, and I hope for a lot of you that you're able to figure things out soon. I hope for all of us that this is over sooner rather than later. But for the time being, I think my part in all this can be staying at home with my kids and doing what we can to self-distance and self-quarantine, but it's also to put up content for you guys and to maybe ease this time at home or stress a little bit with some regular everyday kind of videos. I do want to do more days in the life, you know, but they're going to be a little bit different because the girls are home and stuff. I have been hesitant on that because I'm not the best example for exclusively pumping right now, and I wish that I could. There's a lot of people who tell me not to worry about what I'm doing or to just do things. I overthink stuff. My husband especially thinks I overthink everything, but it's because I care. I care about what I say, what I do, how I act, especially for you guys. You know, I know that I have influence. I'm not trying to make anybody's day harder. I'm not trying to add to anybody's struggle. I think right now my best is maybe being honest with you guys and showing you that there's a lot of different versions of what works, to show you guys that there's more than one way to do your best. And maybe that's a good example too, is modifying it and figuring out what works for you. It might not be exactly what you pictured or what I even recommend, you know, but it could be what works. So I'm going to do my best moving forward to just keep putting out my content and focusing on you guys and trying to really power through a lot of those videos that I want to do, that you've requested, stuff like that. So I'm excited, and I hope you guys are too, and I hope that you're all well and that we all stay healthy. And yeah, as always, thanks for watching.